Hi and welcome to the video. I'm Talia and this is Collection Chats, a series where I basically show you what I like to collect because I like to collect. So today we're going to look at my teeny tiny K-pop collection. Before we get onto the video, onto the K-pop, I just want to note that this video in no way is me bragging or trying to show off, because I understand that some people have collections of hundreds or even thousands of albums, and I don't want to come across like I'm bragging. I've collected these over quite a few years and I only really buy albums when I have spare money. I don't spend money I don't have. I just want to make that clear. I'm not saying that you're not a proper fan if you don't buy the albums or collect any of the sort of K-pop memorabilia, because in my mind being a fan of music is liking the music and the artist, and you don't have to be spending money on them to appreciate them. So yeah, go out there, have fun. Yeah, just don't pressure yourself into feeling like you have to do certain things to be a proper fan. So I got into K-pop back in about, I think it was 2019. I was kind of aware of BTS in 2018, but I wouldn't say I stand them until 2019. I think it was the Love Yourself era. It was probably either Fake Love or Fire that got me into them, and then I would just put them on shuffle, see what came up. But yeah, so I got into K-pop thanks to BTS back in 2019. I was in year 9, so I was about 13 years old. My favourite was BTS for quite a few years, but Stray Kids are my favourite now, so there may or may not be a separate video on them. Don't tell. This video is going to be more on my miscellaneous albums. I have a couple of this group, a few of this group. This is going to be more of a fast-paced video. Fast-paced for my standards anyway. It's not going to be like 30 seconds long, obviously. I'm really bad at like the segues into the next bit, so this is my segue. So let's get on with the video then, I suppose. My first group that I'm going to be talking about is Tomorrow by Together, or TXT. Out of my more miscellaneous albums, TXT are the ones that I have the most of. I have 6 TXT albums and it gets less and less for each group as we go along. So the first album in my collection is TXT's The Dream Chapter Magic. I absolutely adore the colours. This is the earliest TXT album that I own. I love how they've played with the shapes and the bright colours for the design. I'm not a huge fan of bright green. As you can see, my bedroom walls are a very dark green. I love my dark green and my earthy tones, but I just love this bright green and the colours. And a good example of the colours is this little Taeyeon. It's like a photo card holder, I think. We've got photo cards, but also you've got the cute little heart. So yeah, I absolutely adore the bright colours. I love this album. I know they've sort of changed their sound recently, so this album is very different to if you listen to more current TXT. My favourite song is probably New Rules. Some of these, I listed about 4 favourite songs, but this album, New Rules, I think it's because of the beat. It's just, oh, love it. So the next TXT album that I have is also part of the Dream Chapter series. It is the Dream Chapter Eternity. I love it. I prefer the white version. I forgot what the names of the versions are, I'm terrible. I also just find it cute. It's almost like a sort of like a teenage secret diary. She's got the little padlock. I do have the key. I got into TXT thanks to this comeback. I was mainly just into BTS at that point, like I mentioned earlier, and I hadn't heard K-pop in any other style other than what BTS were doing at that point in about 2019. Moving on a little bit, I heard Can't You See Me off of this album, and it really drew me in. It was a bit darker, which, being a rocker and a metalhead, I'm attracted to a lot more K-pop that's quite dark, very bass heavy, things like that. My favourite song on this album is probably Eternally, because of how it switches between the slower style that it starts with, and then it goes between that and the darker, more bass heavy style. I just love the sort of progression of the song. It's brilliant. So yes, the Dream Chapter Eternity, again, I'd heavily recommend. I adore it. So moving on to the next TXT album, we have minisode. Oh, that's upside down, you silly girl. We have Minisode 1, Blue Hour. Oh, I love it. The pastels, the pastels. This was the first TXT comeback where I was already properly stanning. I got into them because of the Dream Chapter Eternity, but that was after the comeback. This was the first comeback where I was stanning and I was ready for the comeback. I'm pretty sure I bought this album quite soon after it came out. It was one of those impulse buys that I try to not do too often, obviously. This is probably my second favourite TXT album. I can accept that this is probably their best album out there though, especially of their earlier stuff, because it's got less songs on it and every single one is perfect, even though this is my second favourite. My favourite song off of this album, it's hard to choose actually, so I'm gonna say either Ghosting or Wishlist. I love both of them. Blue Hour is really good as well. And yeah, I just love the vibes and the aesthetics of the whole album because of how pretty it is. I love pastels. I love the packaging. The back is very cute as well. It's like pixels but confetti. So yes, that is album number 3. Woo. Moving on to our next album. This is the most recent TXT album that I own personally. I'm not up to date, especially being someone who stands multiple groups. It's very hard to keep up to date with all of them, which is why I just don't try. I just buy when I can and when I want to, as opposed to when I need to. But yeah, this is the most recent TXT. I'm so good at going on a tangent. Most recent TXT album that I own. It is the Name Chapter Temptation, and again, it's fueling my love for pastels. I got really excited when I saw the concept photos for the first time for this album. I have things sliding out the bottom here, so I think it's a sign that I show you my favourite photo card. I've actually decided to show you the poster. Just look how beautiful. If you can't see this, I will pop an image on the screen here somewhere. Same with the album covers, just in case. But yeah, another good example is this little Huninkai. Oh, come on. Beautiful Huninkai image as well. So yeah, and I also just love how it contradicts the pastel theming, because you have this pink album and you open it to all these lovely dark white and blue photos. I feel like they're in like an ice cave or something, like Elsa's palace in Frozen, something like that. So yes, that is the Name Chapter Temptation, and they're trying to escape out the bottom again. So this next one is one of my favourite TXT albums ever, not just out of what I physically own, but of all of their releases. This is the hardest album for me to choose a favourite song off of because they're all so great. Just realised I should probably tell you what the album is. So this is Minisode 2, Thursday's Child. Look at the beige, it's beautiful. My favourite tracks off of this are probably either Lonely Boy, the tattoo on my ring finger, or Good Boy Gone Bad. Call Me Basic. It's a title track for a reason because it's that good. So yeah, that was a quick one, but Thursday's Child. I'm a Thursday's child as well. They wrote it for me. I was born on a Thursday. Yeah, Minisode 2, Thursday's Child, I would heavily recommend. So yeah, we are now on to the final TXT album. I wish I could show you more TXT albums, but it's all I've got, which is sad. But also, I love my little collection. If I had any more, I wouldn't fit them on my bookcase. And I'd have to buy more shelves, and I haven't got room for more shelves. So maybe it's a good thing that I can't really afford more albums. But yeah, this is probably my favourite TXT album that I own, and probably one of my favourites, full stop, of their releases. The Chaos Chapter, Freeze. I love it. I love how it's packaged and like the back. It's very cool. The only problem is you can't really see the album cover that well, so I will definitely put that one here. Ta-da! Because it's like this kind of frosted plastic. Speaking of frosted plastic, my favourite song off of this album is Frost. It's one of my favourite TXT songs overall. No Rules is a close second. I just like all the songs with rules in. New rules, no rules. What can I say? But yeah, so Frost is definitely my favourite of this album, and one of my favourites ever of TXT, and one of my favourite K-pop songs. I love the overall concept, and I love all of the songs. There's not a mediocre song on this album. I mean, I don't think they have any mediocre songs anyway. Because this is my favourite TXT album, I'm going to show you what I got inside of it when I first opened it. I don't really remember. She's going to do a little unboxing, and it's going to be like her first ever unboxing because she can't remember. So yeah, that was it. Thank you, Chaos Chapter Freeze. You are going on the pile. That's my last TXT album. But don't worry, video's not over yet. So we're going to move on to the next artist now. This is the only girl group I properly stan. It's also the group that I have the least amount of albums for. I only have 2, which needs to change because I love them. What can I say to make you guys guess who it is? There's 4 members. My favourite member is the rapper, but she can also sing. They can sing, all of them sing very, just amazingly. It is MAMAMOO. I love them, they're brilliant. I just think their vocals are outstanding. All of it is outstanding. I got into them quite a few years ago actually. And I haven't really tried standing any girl groups since because yeah, I prefer the sound of male voices in K-pop. I prefer the sort of sound of the music that the boy groups that I listen to make. There's a lot less noise music made by girl groups and I love noise music. K-pop noise music is brilliant. If MAMAMOO were watching, please make some noise music, I'd love it. So yes, our first MAMAMOO album out of just the 2 is, I don't know if it's WAW or Where Are We? I'm gonna call it Where Are We because that's what it stands for. Beautiful, sort of baby pink cream, I'm not really sure. But yes, this is Where Are We by MAMAMOO. I call it the ballad album. I'm not a personal fan of ballads, K-pop or otherwise. But MAMAMOO do ballads in a way where they're not boring, because that's why I'm not a fan of ballads. I personally find them boring. These are all my opinions. But that being said, Where Are We Now is definitely my favourite off the album, and probably my favourite MAMAMOO ballad or slow song overall. This is an outstanding album, especially if you want to listen to some slower music. So yeah, it's just beautiful, beautiful cursive writing on the back, and I adore it. So our next, or our second, or our last MAMAMOO album is this beauty, Reality in Black. You can actually see this album without the glare. It's got a really cool shiny logo symbol in the middle. I adore it. This album is the epitome of MAMAMOO's sound, in my opinion. It has their best song on it, in my opinion, which is Hip, which is one of my favourites ever, one of my favourite MAMAMOO songs, one of my favourite K-pop songs. My other favourite song on it is probably 4x Forever, because it's a banging song. I love Moonbyul's rap in it as well, and I just love her rapping style overall. I just love MAMAMOO because they're not as conventional as other girl groups in their music and also their appearances. They're all stunning. I low-key have a crush on all of them, I'm not gonna lie, especially Moonbyul, and especially in the concept photos for Reality in Black and the Hip music video. Oh, I just adore them, and I love their solo music as well, so I'd urge you to check them out if you don't know who they are, because I feel like they were popular and they're still quite big, but they're kind of falling under the radar a little bit with the rise in girl groups like New Jeans. Who else are popular? I told you I don't listen to girl groups much, but you know what I mean. But I feel like with TikTok, groups like New Jeans, Stacey, things like that, groups like that, I feel like are becoming more and more popular. And my queens are becoming less known, especially with younger audiences, so I'd urge you to check out MAMAMOO. So yeah, I love this album so much, so I'm going to show you what I got inside. So yeah, that was Reality in Black, that was MAMAMOO. But now we're going to move on to the next artist, who, oh, you can just see how happy I am just thinking about this group. Forewarning, I'll be grinning like the Cheshire Cat for the rest of this section. So yes, our next artist is day6. They're the reason that I got into K-rock, Korean rock, and started exploring that genre. I found other groups like Lucy, FT Island. I've blanked on any Korean rock band I listen to, but I listen to so many. The Rose are up there with day6 for me. And day6 are also one of the original groups that I started stanning when I started listening to K-pop. I got into day6 quite soon after TXT, and then it was like a wave of I'm gonna start standing all these other groups after saying just BTS and TXT, I'm not going to stand any others, and then day6 came along and ruined that plan. Honestly, there isn't a day6 song that I don't like. I just think the discography is outstanding, and part of that outstanding discography is Sunrise. You are not going to be able to see the album cover for this one that well. I'll put the image up. This album sums up day6's sound. In my opinion, I'm going to try and not reflect light into your screens. My favourite songs on the album have to be My Day and Dance Dance. Say Wow and You Were Beautiful are very close seconds. I always cry to You Were Beautiful. I cry to My Day as well because it was sort of like their love letter to their fan group. So yes, I absolutely adore it. Oh, there we go, you can see some of it at least. That's the back with the track list. But yeah, that is Sunrise by day6. Quite an early album actually. They started off amazingly from the get-go, really. Yay! So this next album is the one that made me stan day6. I love the concept so much. You can't really see it from the actual album cover, but I will show you something out of the album to show you the concept. It is The Book of Us, The Demon. I love The Book of Us series of albums. It's beautiful. It did have a cover, but you can also unfold that and use it as a poster, so that is on my wardrobe door at the moment. But yes, outstanding. Let's see what I can show you. So yes, this is a little Sungjin photo card. Something written on the back. What does it say? Just the same, you'll see me. I love the little red ribbon. It's the black and white concept that I love. Let me find a photo. So you can see a very dark concept, and that is what I love. My favourite song, my finger's stuck. My favourite song on The Book of Us, The Demon is probably Stop. But all of them, literally all of them are amazing. So if you want to get into day6, listen to this album. It made me stan them and I still love them to this day. So yes, The Book of Us, The Demon. So this next one is my most recent day6 album. It's a really, really pretty album and the songs represent that too. It is The Book of Us Negentropy. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Its full title is The Book of Us Negentropy, Chaos Swallowed Up in Love. Really pretty cursive again, like handwriting. It's the 7th mini album. It sounds really bad, but it's giving Halloween with the orange and the black. I know it's more sunset and that's more of the concept. It is a really pretty album. It's a bit more mellow, which I find makes it perfect to listen to when studying. But yeah, if you're studying and you want something more chilled out in the background, I would definitely recommend this album. My favourite song on this is definitely Every Day We Fight, but I do have a lot of great memories listening to You Make Me, which was the title track. When it first came out, I was listening to the whole album, but I had You Make Me on repeat. So yes, The Book of Us Negentropy, Chaos Swallowed Up in Love. So this is my last day6 album to show you. Again, I wish I had more to show you, but then I would be a lot more broke. This is my favourite day6 album, probably one of my favourite albums ever, like not even just my favourite K-pop album, but one of my favourite albums ever. It is The Book of Us, Entropy. Oh, all of the songs are literally all outstanding, which makes it very hard for me to choose a favourite song. My favourites are probably Deep in Love, Sweet Chaos, Rescue Me and Not Mine, but all the rest are a close second. Those are my 4 favourites, and then all of them are like almost in first place. And I love the concept, so I think it's time that I show you what you get inside this album. So yes, that was The Book of Us Entropy, and that was day6. And now we're going to move on to the final artist, who, as much as day6 are a Korean rock band, they're more traditional Korean rock. They're what you'd expect to hear if you put on a K-rock playlist. This next artist fall under K-rock, but they are not what you would expect to hear. So our next and final artist is one of my current music obsessions. I've kind of been obsessed with them since I discovered them. It is Xdinary Heroes. If you haven't listened to them, I'm just going to say it now, please go and listen to some of their music. I actually got into them just after they first debuted with Happy Death Day, which is a first for me because usually groups are like a couple albums in or they've already debuted before I've kind of found out about them or got into them. They debuted with Happy Death Day, which was a single. They didn't come out with an album at first. I saw the notification from JYP on YouTube and my brain went, okay, JYP have debuted another boy band. They go through the motions quite quickly and frequently, I feel, with just pushing out more and more groups. But I thought, oh, the thumbnail of the video looks a bit different, a bit quirky, what they're wearing, their makeup. Clicked on it, rock. And not your lovely soft mellow K-rock like The Rose or Day6, although they do have more upbeat songs. Heavy, hard rock, which for Korean music, for me personally, that was a first. I'm not saying it was the first, but for me and what I listened to before, I'd not really heard anything like that before. So yeah, after that I was there ready for their first actual album, the first proper album release. I've been there since, I wouldn't say day one, but I would say since month one. And as much as I only have 3 of their albums, this is the one artist that I'm confident I'll actually be able to catch up with collecting their albums, because they haven't got like 10,000 releases out. So on that note, we are going to move on to the first album that I've got of theirs. This is Hello World. It was the first Xdinary Heroes album I bought. I like how it's not your traditional K-pop album in a box. I like that it's almost like a school book. You kind of get that from the front and everything. I adore it. It does make it's hard to put this on my K-pop shelves nicely, but again, I like the fact that it's different. My favourite song of this album, it was always Strawberry Cake, but listening to it again recently, Pirates is a very close second. I'd heavily recommend this. All of the songs are amazing. They go into each other brilliantly. And I find that all of their albums have all-round great songs. They don't have any fillers like some albums do, especially rock. Some rock albums very much have their big title tracks and then lots of just other songs to bulk out the album. Xdinary Heroes don't do that. So please go and listen to Hello World. It is the one that I'm begging you to go and listen to, and you might fall in love with them like I did. So yeah, Hello World, brilliant. Our next album I'm very, very, very excited about. It is my favourite Xdinary Heroes concept ever, and one of my favourite ever K-pop concepts in general. It is Overload. Again, not your generic kind of K-pop album in a box with all the stuff, which again makes it difficult putting it on a shelf. I love this concept. It reminds me of Edward Scissorhands, which is one of my favourite films. So for example, it's giving Edward Scissorhands, it's giving Tim Burton, it's giving Talia is a goth and loves it, especially the back. It's very Tim Burton-y with like the forest and stuff. So yeah, it's very Edward Scissorhands. This is another example of how their albums just have perfect track lists. Again, there is no filler song on this album at all. Oh, my favourite song, it's either Ghost or Crack in the Mirror, but again, I adore all of the songs on here. It was very hard to choose between this and the next one for my favourite Xdinary Heroes album, but I think the next one just pips it to the post. So yes, this was Overload. Again, please go and listen to it. My last Xdinary Heroes album, I realised I have the digipack version, I don't have the main version. So the items I have are very different and the actual album is very different to the main version, which is more of like your traditional K-pop album, whatever that is. So yeah, this is my favourite Xdinary Heroes album. Very hard to choose between this and Overload. Deadlock. Yeah, this is the digipack version. It came in 6 different digipack versions with the different members' faces. I have Gunil, and he is my favourite member because he's a drummer. I love drummers. And drumming. So yes, I got very happy when this turned up because I didn't know who it was going to be. I would love the normal version, one of the normal versions, because the colours are so pretty, and the album cover online on Spotify is beautiful as well. It's like kind of this sort of vibe with the pinky purples and stuff. This is again one of my favourite albums to listen to from start to finish. No filler songs. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's just because they're such a good group. My favourite song off of this album, hands down, is Good Enough, but, and this is one where I list a few, Bicycle, Man in the Box and Freaking Bad are very close seconds. I love it. So yes, I think this is again one where I show you what I got in it. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to put a transition there now just to look stupid. So yeah, that was Deadlock by Xdinary Heroes. Those were all of my albums that I'm going to show you in this video today. Before we move on, before I sort of say goodbye to you guys properly, about Xdinary Heroes, I just want to say how amazing they are. When I first discovered them, like I said, I was very surprised because I was expecting another normal K-pop boy group. Then I saw the instruments and I was happy, and then they started playing and it was very heavy rock, hard rock. It makes my metalhead and my classic rock brain very happy, and what also makes my metalhead brain very happy is my favourite, all-time favourite Xdinary Heroes song, which is called Instead. They did it with Yoon Do-hyun. It's brilliant. It's a heavy metal song. It's got like death metal vocals in it. That's what I think what Yoon Do-hyun does. It's brilliant, so I'd definitely recommend that. And yeah, I'd also recommend Rebellion that they did with YB, another metal group. I really hope they make more metal music, more heavy metal, death metal sort of sounding, because I love it. I also love the concept of Instead and the music video, and sort of the hair and makeup and what they're wearing. Also very Tim Burton, but with more of like a death metal edge to it. So yes, that is my favourite Xdinary Heroes song, and I'd definitely recommend that as well. But on that note, I think it looks like we've made it fully to the end of the video. On the top of my K-pop wish list for just these artists is probably the Dream Chapter Star by TXT, because I have Magic and Eternity, and then I would have all of the Dream Chapter albums, which would be very fun. And I'm pretty sure that was their first album, that was their debut, so it'd be really cool to have their debut album. And also, like I mentioned earlier, I have a decent sized collection of BTS memorabilia, not just albums, but I have more actual merch, official and unofficial, because again, K-pop is expensive to be a fan if you want to spend money, so I do buy unofficial merch. Still show my love for them. But yeah, if you would like to see me do a video on just my BTS collection, comment below. I've been collecting BTS for the longest, so I have the most, mainly, or maybe Stray Kids. So yeah, comment down below if you would like to see me do a video on my BTS collection. I could maybe show more of my actual posters and things like that. So there we have it. I hope you enjoyed this installment of Collection Chats. I would love for you to let me know what K-pop artists or albums you think I should listen to, whether it's albums by groups that I've spoken about today, or soloists, or artists I may have never heard of. Comment any suggestions below, just any K-pop music that you think I would like. I'm always open to listening to new music. If you liked this video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button. Maybe check out one of my other videos too. I did a massive video on my record collection where I only spoke about 10 records, so if you're also interested in vinyl, I definitely recommend you check that out. And I also had the honour back in winter last year to interview a small artist that I love listening to called Chaidura. I definitely recommend going and checking out that video as well. And yeah, stay tuned for my Stray Kids collection, because that is next on my list of videos to make for you guys. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!